Beautiful people. It's your boy Haize, pregame show. I know I'm a little bit late with the pregame show. Has some stuff going on, but nonetheless, I'm here. We're here. We're gonna have a good time. We got 3 videos coming for you guys between now and the end of the night, plus 4 if you count Locked On Bulls. We're doing some stuff today. The Bulls need this win, man. That's it. Period. Point blank. That's what it boils down to. The Bulls need a win in this game. And that's just it. No sugarcoating, no ands, ifs, or buts about it. The Bulls need a win. And that's what it boils down to. Hopefully they can come in and do their thing and play better and play with better expectations. Vooch is playing. All right, good. That's good to hear that Nikola Vucevic is going to be playing today for the Chicago Bulls. Anyone who's following the Locked On Bulls Twitter, y'all got some entertaining. Petty Roosevelt showed up on Locked On Bulls Twitter today. It will never be on a Locked On Bulls episode, but I had to catch a body from Joe Cowley today. So yeah, Joe Cowley became the next person on that Summer Jam screen today on Twitter. I got him. But all right, let's go ahead. Let's keep it focused. As Gordon says, Vooch is playing. DeMar probably going to drop 35 today. Let's see red not turn red. It's funny that literally I said that one day and now it's like become a little catchphrase over like the last 3 episodes. But yeah. Let's see red not turn red. But I will say this, and I'm gonna admit I definitely will be turning red if the Bulls lose tonight, especially with Vooch coming back. I'm sure the team has some energy. Patrick Williams coming back to practice. Alex Caruso coming back to practice as well. Now, they haven't come back to practice yet. They have been cleared. I believe Billy Donovan said that he expects them both to be in practice Friday. So expect about a week after that for us to have an answer. I know I had said before that I expected that March 14th game to be when Alex Caruso comes back. That may not happen if they're not returning to practice till Friday. They only leaves a couple of days, but they could very well see what they have in them and figure, nope, let's go ahead and get them. Let's go ahead and add them back in. So we'll see what's going on with that. We'll see. How you guys feeling about the game today? What do you want to see from the Bulls today? Let me know everything down below, what you guys are thinking and feeling. But yeah. Haize, what will you do if the Bulls lose this game? Let's pray we never have to find out. That's all I'm going to say. Let's pray we never have to find out because it's going to be ugly. It's going to be real ugly. And yeah, let's just hope we don't have to find out. Let's hope we don't have to. Jay Pate all day says pick and roll defense. Definitely. If anybody wants to see some entertaining stuff, though, go to Locked On Bulls on Twitter. I had to give somebody some work today. Joe Cowley got that work today. Y'all know Petty Roosevelt, when he shows up, he holds no, and I couldn't help it. Like I started off, I was going to just give a little jab, I should say, and then it turned into a full Petty Roosevelt roast of Joe Cowley today. If we somehow lost today, it's going to be something. Yeah. But the Bulls, they can't look past Detroit. Detroit's won 5 out of their last 7. They've been playing pretty well. You don't want to overlook a team like Detroit. You don't really want to look over any teams, especially when you're on a 5-game losing streak. The Bulls need to come out, step on their necks very early, get this win, move on. 6266 Jamal says, hey, if Alex comes back and gets reacclimated quickly, do we start him or have him stay coming off the bench? That's a good question. If Alex was healthy, it would have always been Alex starting, right? But because he's coming back from injury, I think they probably leave him off the bench. And then when you also pair in that the bench may need that common factor, I say they probably keep Ayo in the starting lineup. I could completely be wrong with that. I wouldn't mind either. It just really depends on how comfortable they feel with Alex and if he's going to like trust his body. Well, and let me not act like he like had a lower body injury. It was his wrist. I believe it was his wrist on his non-shooting hand too, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll see. I'm not going I'm proud of Coby doing his shit from the bench. Kobe's been great. Kobe's been and he's been inconsistent, right? Let's I'm gonna be clear and be fair in talking about it. He's been very, very inconsistent, right? Kobe will have 4 or 5 game stretches of looking really good, 2 to 3 game stretches of not being able to score anything, another 2 3 games of looking good. Like it's been ebbs and flows to Kobe's game. Um, but that happens when you're a shooter sometimes. Now, the one thing that has improved for Kobe so much for me is that now when Kobe's shot isn't falling, though, he's doing other things. He's a better defender now, right? Still not a great defender, but he's a much better defender. He knows how to help. His help defense is much improved. His weak side defense has improved. And then you look at his passing is now come on. If you look, Kobe's made some passes this season that we would have never bet on Kobe to make last season. So now I won't say necessarily his vision is getting better, but he's making better decisions with the ball. And so all of that, like, it's going to be really interesting to see what the Bulls do with Kobe this offseason. Because either it's one or two things, and I see this going one or two ways, and you guys could disagree. Either Kobe's getting traded or they plan on keeping him long term because it makes no sense. It's the last year left. Yeah, you could extend him a qualifying offer, but in the following offseason, not this offseason, but then if you do that, you risk the chance of somebody signing them outright by giving them a huge offer sheet, and then you don't get anything back. So I really think the front office is going to look at it and say, okay, how else do we want to build out our bench? If we can get another scorer that's maybe more consistent, maybe we do trade Kobe to bring in more pieces. But I think that decision is going to be made this offseason. That's just my personal opinion. For the reasons I laid out. You guys may disagree. When you look at wanting to maximize on Kobe, especially a team probably wanting his bird rights and things like that, this offseason is probably the time to trade Kobe if they're going to trade Kobe. That's just me being fair. I want to see Kobe on this team for a long time, though. Kobe should be more aggressive. His floater used to be really good, but he don't do that a lot no more. Yeah, and we did see the periods like that 9 game winning streak when Kobe saved us in about 5 of those games. We were seeing the floater then, and then he seemed to get away from it when his shots started not falling. So yeah, Kobe really he's a complete scorer. It's just the consistency isn't there. He can score at just about every level. Now his finishing around the rim isn't the best, but with that floater being what it can be and what he's shown it to be at times, he's a complete scorer. Um, it just really depends. Really depends. Chris says, if I don't know, I'm not finna get into targets, but you got to think about it this way, right? The Bulls either way are going to look to improve, right? And because of Zach LaVine's contract extension, because extension for Io is right around the corner because they only signed him to a 2-year deal as a second round pick. Those type of things are around. So the Bulls also have their own first round pick that they can't trade now. Well, they couldn't trade it at the trade deadline, but they can trade it during the draft. So you have to think that if there's a disgruntled, maybe star, maybe not a star, but maybe somebody who's a really solid player off the bench, a veteran, you could package Kobe with that first round pick and get something back considerable, especially if it's a team that's rebuilding, right? Like, look, for example, Portland, we know they have Anthony Simmons and things like that, but they may be interested. Not saying that we get Dame or anything for it. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying you may be able to work. And maybe it's not even the Bulls trading their first round pick. Maybe they get involved in another trade, right? They become the third team in the trade. They use Kobe in that piece to get something that they need from this bench. There's a lot of different things that can go. I'll get more close to talking about the offseason and specific type targets when we get closer to that. To me, if we win, it's going to be a blowout. But if a very close game, I don't know. Well, what we beat Detroit in the last game we played them. That was the 133-88 game. I think. I could completely be wrong with that. I couldn't. I could very well be wrong with that. But that's what I think that game was. So we'll see. We'll see. And all listen, Kobe may give Cade the business, but one thing we've seen is Kobe can also get the business sometimes too. So we'll see what happens. Agree with you with what you said, Hayes. This isn't the last season. Even if God forbid we do get bounced in the first round, fans act like this season is chip or bust. And it happens, right? Because fans just want to see us win. Like it honestly comes from a good place. And that's one thing that I can't acknowledge. While I don't agree with the sky is falling Bulls fans, while I don't agree with the fans that say, hey, let's trade every young piece we got if it means we can get another star. I understand that it comes and it's rooted in just wanting to see your team win a title. Like it's rooted in a honest place of wanting to see your team do good. But like a lot of fans lose sight of actual roster construction and things like that. They just think throw a bunch of stars at it. But yeah, it's this isn't the end of the road for us, right? Keep in mind the Bulls, and I don't want to say wasted, but what it took Jordan 8 years before, no, 6 before he won his first title. It's very rare that championship teams are built from not being in the playoffs to winning a title. It's usually steps along there, right? It usually goes from your team that maybe has some talent, like what we did. You have some pieces to build around. You create a better team, you then get into the playoffs. Maybe you even get into the second round. Maybe you get into a Eastern Conference Finals or something like that. But then you don't usually win it that first go around. So we'll see. We'll see. 7 years. All right, 7 years. I thought it was something like that. Dad's in the building. Win by 20 tonight. They got to. They got to. Hayes, do you think P. Will comes back, but his defensive identity isn't the same? The Bulls could possibly move on from him. No, this front office is not trading Patrick Williams, right? And I'm not even getting into people think when I say that I'm talking about my personal opinion on Patrick Williams. Listen, there are players I would absolutely trade Patrick Williams for and not second guess it at all. Bye, you got to go. This front office, though, is not going to trade Patrick Williams. And because of that, I don't spend my energy thinking about trading Patrick Williams, because the way that AK and Eversley talk about him, the fact that they saw enough in him to draft him at number 4 overall, the fact that as a 19-year-old rookie, he was getting so many props from some of the biggest players in the NBA on his defense, that those are great building blocks. I've always said, like, I see Patrick Williams more than likely ceiling being a better defensive version of Luol Deng. That means that a player that can get you 18 and 8 and play really good defense for you. And I think that that's his ceiling, and that's fine to me. I know some Bulls fans think if he doesn't turn into Kawhi, if he doesn't turn into Paul George, then it's a bust. And I don't think that at all. But I will say, this front office is, I don't see them trading Patrick Williams. It would have to be a hell of an offer for AK to trade Patrick Williams, is what I'll say. 66266 Jamal says, "Hey Hayes, is it me or does it look like Zach has gotten a better with his passing? I've seen him throw some dimes to Vooch. Oh, Zach has his passing has gotten better and better every year. I think we didn't get to see as much of his passing the last few years because he had to be the one scoring. But yes, his passing has absolutely gotten better. And when he's not in his head, right? Because once he gets frustrated, Zach is, and that's the one thing that I want to see him work on, is to be more cool, calm, and collective. He can, people say if he can take DeMar's mid-range game, I don't even care about that. If he can get DeMar's cool, calm, and collectedness, and I say that, and we've seen DeMar get text the last couple of games, but you know what I mean. Because really what happens with Zach is he gets frustrated, he gets in his head, and it completely takes him out of his game. But yeah, Zach is a solid passer. He's not great, right? But he's a solid passer, and he's a smart passer too when he's not trying to force the issue. Shane the building, what's going on, brother? Zach Lasagna in the building, what's up, brother? 3 Live Stream says, "I miss the defensive energy. It's more beautiful to watch for me than the best offense. Amazing defense is like poetry." Here's what I'll say, right? I agree with that, because especially it depends on the brand of defense, because some teams just play that ugly drag out, and it can be beautiful too, depending on what type of basketball you like. But the brand of defense the Bulls were playing, like the first 10, 12 games of the season, when they were getting in those pass lanes, when they were getting out in transition because of their defensive identity, that is absolutely beautiful basketball. Yeah, I mean it is, but offense is what gets people in the door, right? That's what gets the casuals in. So you got to have both, man, but it is what it is. It is what it is. First of all, renewable and rechargeable energy. I've seen you do this the last couple. Man, dingoes, is that what we doing to each other now? We addressing each other as mandingos. Is that what we doing, brother? I gotta throw some jokes at you. Brian the tryhard, Petty Roosevelt coming out today. If they lose, absolutely. Joe Cowley already got Petty Roosevelt on the Locked On Bulls Twitter. He got the business. He had to stop responding to me because I was giving him the business. But yeah. Do your children stop what they're doing at the tone of your voice, or do sometimes you have to? But I listen. This is one thing, and my dad's watching, so hopefully I don't get fussed at for this. As a child, I rightfully got beat. Right? My parents say that I didn't get whooped as much as I remember I did, but I was a bad kid. Let me make no mistakes about it. Let me not make it seem like my parents are villains. They're not. They did the best with me that they could. I was bad. But with my kids, honestly, like talking to my kids usually, except my youngest, Alan, he tries to test people certain times, but usually if you like get stern with him and just raise your voice a little bit, he doesn't like being fussed at. So he starts trying to give hugs and stuff. But like my oldest son, Xavier, and my two daughters, Amaya and Alana, you don't have to whoop them. They you don't ever have to do any type of thing like that with them. My children, literally, you have to talk to them, sit down, and they usually shape it up. T's in the building. My sister's here for the first time. What's going on, sis? I was just talking about how, listen, my sisters didn't get whooped, though. They didn't. I got whooped. My sisters didn't. What's going on? So y'all make sure y'all go follow my sister if y'all like hip hop, especially the new music. I know I have a hip hop podcast. We like break down and we're like old heads. My sister, if you want to hear album listens of the most recent music, y'all go follow TG. That's my little sister, the youngest of the family. And y'all go follow her because she's dope and she's funny as hell too. She says Zay is perfect. Yeah. Xavier is literally the perfect child. Every bad trait I had as a kid are great traits with him. So yeah, shout out to him. Dad said in her review on Jordans. Yeah, she's branched out. She does Jordans now. She'll do little blogs now. You see her son, my nephew, Zayden, is pops up on her channel too, the cutest little boy in the world. So yeah, y'all make sure y'all go follow TG for all of that. You're welcome, sis. I love you too. Armand Khan says, Haize, what's good, bro? What's going on, Brody? What's going on? Adrian says, what's up, Haize? Just home from work, hoping for a statement win tonight. I like the way that you put that. Shay says, still can't believe your children are almost grown. You don't even look a day. Oh, listen, bro. I don't know. I don't look my age. I'll say that, but 35 isn't old either. But I'm old, bro. I'm old, man. Old as dirt, as some would say. Except Xavier's temper. Yes. And that's developed over like the last 3 years, really, where Zay gets frustrated and yeah. I just got on who's playing. Pistons, Bulls. That's who's playing today. Millar Miller says Bulls should remain at the 4th seed to face the Celtics in the playoff matchup wise, or should the Bulls strive? Listen, I'm not one of those people who believe in doing stuff for seeding. That's just me. I don't. So I think the Bulls should play to win every game that they can win, I should say. Watch Jeremy Grant have a bad game, and all the Bulls fans that wanted him at the trade deadline will be quiet. Is he playing tonight? I haven't even paid attention to the injury report. Let's pull up the injury report. Let's see what we got. So Killian Hayes is out. Isaiah Stewart is out, and Frank Jackson is out. All right, so yeah, Jeremy Grant's. Oh, Javonte Green is about to give Jeremy Grant the business. Listen to what I say, people. Javonte Green is about, and I don't mean like necessarily lock him down, but I guarantee you he has a frustrating game. He probably won't shoot a good percentage. I'm telling you, just watch. Coby says, you're 35. Yes, I'm 35 years old. I turned 35 in December. So, yep. Old is what I am. And I feel even older because my oldest son is 16. He'll be 16 in April. Like, it's crazy. It's wild. Are you streaming the game? I don't stream games here, Rolly. I don't. I don't feel like I have the skill set to stream live. And plus, like I've said, for anyone who actually knows me in real life, when I watch Bulls games, I get to cursing. I'm sure YouTube would shut the channel down. All that stuff would happen. I'm pretty sure that's how it would go if I was to try to stream a game live. It's not going to be pretty. I can guarantee you. It wouldn't be pretty. YouTube would shut everything down. They'd be like, "Oh, you thought you was about to do that? Nope, we're gonna go ahead and shut them down. It wouldn't be no channel." Inside the Chicago Bulls are going to be in hiding. That's funny. Bulls need a blowout tonight. I agree. I agree. I know it's game time, people. I'm about to get up off here. Thank you so much for the continued support of the channel. Thank you for your support. Everyone who subscribed here, go and subscribe to Locked On Bulls. That is the channel that I now host with Pat the Designer. It's a completely different feel from Chicago Bulls Central, but if you like Bulls content and you're not subscribed over there, make sure you go over there and subscribe to Locked On Bulls as well, because we just do great work over there. Me and Pat's chemistry has just been crazy, and the fact that we've only done 3 episodes together, all of that. But yeah. Derrick Jones Jr. got some nasty dunks. Listen, yes, and he's getting more. He's becoming more and more like himself before the injury. It's been a slow, and that's what kind of worries me. And I know every player deals with injuries differently, but like it really did take Derrick Jones Jr. like 6 games before he started looking like himself again. And so I worry about that. I worry about what that's going to do. So definitely worry about how the other players, especially Patrick Williams, with as long as he's been gone. I know Patrick Williams has been able to keep up his conditioning, so he shouldn't like need a bunch of conditioning or get in the game shape. He's still been working out, but I do worry about like, hey, how long is it really going to take? That's Trisha's channel. Yeah, TG. Make sure y'all go follow my sister TEEG. J. Laura says, hit the likes, people. Hit the likes. But all right, that's it for me for today on this stream. I will see you guys at halftime for the halftime hangout post-game show. We got all that for you guys today. Like I like to end everything on go Bulls. See red, don't be red. I'm out.